Hello, my name is Andrew O'Brien, founder of Anakele Vision and Design, and this is the Batch Pro for Poser 7 tutorial. Batch Pro for Poser 7 is a plugin which allows the user to render multiple Poser files automatically. With all the long hours you put into your projects, there are still a large number of hours that may be thrown away each day while you eat, sleep, or just tend to your daily lives that don't involve your projects. With Batch Pro, you can set up multiple scenes with different camera angles, lights, render settings, etc., and render them while you're away from your computer, thereby increasing productivity and regaining those hours of lost opportunity cost. So let's begin. When you want to use Batch Pro for Poser 7, you want to start off with a blank Poser scene. You want to start off where there are no scenes. If you already have it installed on your computer, you should be able to go to Scripts menu, then go to Anakele Vision Design, and Batch Pro for Poser 7 will be available. As you can see, this is a very simple interface. If you want to add a file to Batch Pro, just click on the Add File button and navigate to the folder where you have your files, and the file appears here. You cannot add another file. If you try to add another file in this entry, you will get a message that says you have to first add this file to the batch queue down here. Okay, so let's say we wanted our file format to be in PNG. As you can see, there are the different image file formats as well as the SWF. I didn't include the AVI file format because Poser Smith Micro has not given developers access to the different compression formats for the AVI, which means that even though Poser Python allows for AVI rendering, you'd still have to select which compression you'd like, and that pretty much kills the idea of the batch process. When you have a batch process, you want everything to be automatic. So that's why you'll see it here. Even in Poser Pro, their batch process does not include the AVI. It's just images or SWF. Okay, we're going to select the preview option. You see this 70 here. This is the compression rate, but it only applies to the JPEG. If you choose any other kind of format, this value will be ignored. Okay, we're going to use preview only because preview is faster. We already have every other option selected, and we're going to add to the batch. A dialog is going to pop up, and it's going to show you the different settings that you have. If you're satisfied with those settings, select OK. Also, the motion blur will not be applied unless you actually select motion blur. What you notice, once you add the file to the batch, the file in the add file entry, it disappears. So now you're prepared to add another file to your batch. Okay, and we want to keep, this time we're going to change the file to JPEG, and we're going to say we want this at 70%. Well, it's a preview, so let's put it to 100%. And we want to start at frame 31 and go to frame 1. But if we try to go to frame 1, you'll see a bad input error that says that the end frame has to be greater than the start frame, which should be the case. Okay, so now we want to add that. We'll get a readout. We accept those, and we'll add one more file. We'll add another file. Oh, no, that's not where I want to go. I want to go to here. Test 3. Okay, and we want to go from frames. Well, first we want to make this a SWF file, and we want to go from frames 61 to frame 90. Now, when you go to SWF, now you have the option to add some of the flash export settings. The flash export settings will be ignored if you choose image format. Okay, I'm pretty fine with these settings, so I don't need to do anything special with these. We're going to add that to the batch. As you can see, the flash settings are now included with the regular readout because now we're using the SWF format. Click OK. After we have our 3 movies, we can now run the batch, and you should see that a Poser file opens up, and this is the first movie. This is your first PZ3 file that is being rendered. And if I'm not mistaken, we chose the PNG file format. You can't see because I don't have the screen to the bottom, but you can see that this is 100 frames. What I've done, and what you will have to do is all three of these files, the test 2, and test 3, are actually the same file, just with different names. And the reason why I did that is because Batch Pro is going to use the name of the file to render out the images. So if you're rendering multiple times from the same file, you're going to render out, and your file format is the same. Let's say you decided you wanted multiple PNG renders of the same file, but you're just using different frame ranges. First one is 1 to 30, just like we did here. Second one is 31 to 60, and so on and so forth. You're going to end up overwriting. You run the risk of overwriting your files, which is why even if you're using the same PZ3, the same poser scene, you're going to save it multiple times if you're using the same directory, so that you don't overwrite any images that you want to use in the future. Also of note is you'll find that Batch Pro will save the resultant images, the rendered images, to the directory that your scene is in. As you can see, that once the batch is through, Batch Pro is going to shut itself down. So let's go to the folder that contained those three files, and as you can see, that this is a JPEG file at 100%, and here is this is the PNG file, and at the bottom we should see the Flash file that has the remaining 30 frames. So as you can see, Batch Pro for Pose is a very easy tool. Once again, the image files or the SWF file will be rendered and saved within the same folder that your movie files are in. And you see that didn't take any time at all. Of course, the time is going to be dependent on the type of setting you use. We could have used Sketch. If you're going to use Sketch or any files that you use, make sure you save the render and Sketch settings within that file, because Batch Pro does not give you the option to set render settings or anything like that. It just gives you the option to set out output settings for each render. Okay. This has been Batch Pro for Poser 7 tutorial. My name is Andrew O'Brien, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Take care.